streaming wise. Let's see. Start stream. Refresh. And we should be live. Let's see. Perfect. Live. Awesome. So, hello. Hi, everyone. Hope you all are well. Been a couple weeks since we've done our last stream. Since that time, I had the chance to go on a excellent vacation, spend some time with family. Oh, let me check the audio here. Hold on. Here we go. Hopefully that works a little bit better. Let's see. Test, test, test. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Okay, I think we're good. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, audio looks great. Okay, awesome. So, yeah, we had an awesome UFC event. I think I ended up going 3 for 4. And I can't remember who I was off on. Oh, yeah, it was one of our co-main events. And I think, hold on, hold up, hold up, hold up. Where in the world? Where in the world? Hold on, hold on. Because now I wanna see. I was. Oh, it was not. Okay. I had picked Moicano to win, and Dariush won, right? Which was unexpected for me. Not because Dariush can't win, but I was not expecting that. But was on with Taporia, with Pantoja, with Josh Vaughn, who's a stud. Um, Yeah, but I was not expecting Benil to win. So there you go. Sometimes you don't know, right? Sometimes you just don't know. So here we are with a new fight night event. I've got my picks set and ready to go. With all my picks, I always take I do a small parlay as well on BetMGM, and I'll get that set to put in the work that between $10 and $20, depending on how good I feel. But I always figure if I'm going to make picks, I might as well put a little bit of money behind them, right? Just as a quick reminder, particularly if you are newer, right? You can go to our DApp right now, dap.spredict.io, and get your pick set, and I'll go over mine shortly. As a quick introduction, my name is Fred Endy. I'm one of the co-founders of Spredict. We are a predictive gaming ecosystem that's built a little bit differently, and we're built around 3 main components to our design. One is that we're subscription based. We see ourselves as the Spotify or Amazon Prime of the predictive gaming landscape, rather than pay to play for every single prediction that you're going to make. You will buy a monthly subscription, which will provide you with access to the Spredict DApp and the assorted games for the sport or non-sport element that you are most kind of into. And then from there, you'll be able to play all those games over the course of the time period for your subscription. And during the time in which your subscription is live, you'll be competing against other Spredict players to win prizes at the conclusion of, let's say, that monthly period, right? And so you might buy a subscription for the month of August, let's say, compete in the UFC events in the month of August, and then earn points on the leaderboard for the month and win prizes at the conclusion of that time period. And you'll be able to purchase Spredict Pass subscriptions for all of the different elements of our DApp to compete across sports or non-sports as makes sense to you. So that's one key component. Another key element is that our games are built differently. We don't design just pick A, B, or A, B, or C style events. All of our games have additional elements that separate them from the norm in predictive gaming. And sometimes that's a really different design to a game structure. And other times the game structure might feel somewhat similar, but have an added element, like the game we're going to play today. But the goal is to give you more of an opportunity to use this big thing up here, right, as you make your picks, and to provide you with greater opportunity to like chat and engage in conversation about your picks and why you made them, right? That's part of the fun of predictive gaming as well. And then lastly, we're designed to be a bespoke creator of pools. As we grow, we'll be able to build out individualized pools and customized gaming opportunities for you, your communities, your projects, lounges, family, friend groups, whatever makes sense for you. Right. So you put those three together, shake them up in a little shaker, and you end up with Spredict. And today we're going to take a look at our Spredict DApp. Right. You'll be able to go to our DApp site. Right, you'll be able to make those picks, and yeah, you'll hear a little bit of my reasoning for why I stand behind the picks that I'm making. And there it is again, right there. So I'm going to pull up our DApp. I'll walk you through it, and then we'll get into the 4 fights that we have on tap for later today. So let me share. And we're going to go to window and let's pull up the DApp, shall we? All right, so you should now see the Spredict DApp. It's dapp.spredict.io. Let me get you acquainted to the layout and design of it. First, on the right-hand side, you'll see an area to connect your wallet. You can connect via MetaMask, Phantom, or Abstract Global Wallet. I'm going to connect my wallet right now. You'll see I get a connection window pops up, and here you can see my wallet. I can disconnect as well. On the right-hand side, you'll see live odds. These are based on the picks that have come through for the 4 pools so far today. Our socials down at the bottom. Then in the middle is the main game interface. This tells you the sports category that you're in. Above that, where it says face off, the game within that category, we're building out a second game called Tap Out, which is focused on finishing style, right? So our goal is to have between 2 and 3 games in each category available to players. So that way, not only does it provide you with more opportunities to earn points and engage, but also makes the incorporation of the leaderboard more powerful, right? I mean, if you're only playing in one game and only earning points in one place over the course of a given given week, excuse me, then it's not as meaningful, right? So you then also have tabs towards the middle, right? You've got the live event. That's where we're going to make our picks shortly. Past results tells you how well you've done over past events. And then the leaderboard is where you'll be able to see your progress against other players. There are a number of instruction tabs that break down how to play each game. And on the left-hand side are our game categories. You'll pick on a category, the game options will come up, right? So face off is what we're playing now. Formula One would take you to racing games. We're building out a crypto element as well for those who aren't into predictive gaming in sports. You'll be able to do so around market cap, price prediction of assets. There's a rewards tab where all your prize winnings will be claimable and where you'll be able to go to claim any potential winnings or prizes, and then get your Spredict Pass will take you to where you can purchase a pass so that you can compete in each of our games for the leaderboard. Now, by the way, there will always be free to play features as part of Spredict. We want people to be able to experience the DApp without feeling like they have to pay for it. However, in order to earn prizes, in order to compete in the leaderboard, that's where the Spredict Pass will come into play. So for this evening's fight night in Nashville, Tennessee, we have 4 pools and fights that we are looking at. A heavyweight division main event, those are always fun, a welterweight battle, and then 2 featherweight fights. And we're going to start, maybe we'll start with our featherweight fight, the one in Pool D, Nate Landwehr, Morgan Charriere. Why don't we start there? And I'll share a little bit about my thinking, and then I'll make my pick so you can see where I am leaning at the current point in time. Now, a couple things. Our face-off game is designed to be a pick one of the 2 fighters, right? Now, one of the things that you can see, for instance, you'll see Landwehr has a star next to his name. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we've done with the creation of Spredict is build additional elements into each game that we're designing that cause you to use game theory, think a little more strategically, more often than you might have to in kind of like your run-of-the-mill predictive gaming experiences, right? And so if you go to our DApp now, connect your wallet, you can experience this too. The star is what we call our favorite feature. The idea is really simple. As users of our DApp make and lock in their picks, we pull that data from on-chain, right, to see how those picks are being distributed. The selection with more picks becomes the favorite. Hence in this case, Landwehr with the star, that he is the favorite of everyone who has picked so far. Now, if we were playing for leaderboard points, and I picked Landwehr, and Landwehr ended up winning as the favorite, then I would earn, let's say, 1 point on the leaderboard. However, if I went with Charriere, and Charriere was the underdog when the pool's locked, and Charriere won, then I would earn 2 points on the leaderboard. So in effect, not only are you trying to strategically think about who's going to win that fight, you're also determining whether that fight is a good fight to make a underdog or contrarian pick. So we love building those elements into our games. We think it's important that predictive gaming feel a little different than it does currently. And that's one of the reasons behind the inclusion of our favorite feature. So let's talk a little bit about this fight in particular. Now, if you know anything about these 2 fighters, you know that Landwehr is a fairly well-seasoned fighter, 18-6-0, right out of the U.S. Morgan Charriere, also well-seasoned. He's 20-11-1. Now, what's interesting about both of these fighters is they have some different approaches to fighting in the ring. Now, both of them are roughly the same height and weight. Charriere is 29, while Nate Landwehr is significantly older at 37. Charriere does have a slightly shorter reach, 69 inches to 72. But from a significant strike accuracy and takedown perspective, they're both fairly similar. Now, Charriere is favored at 275. And part of that is the intensity they bring to their fights. Landwehr is a strong fighter. He has been in a number of intense, bloody battles. He is a fighter who tends to really persist. He's got significant ability to withstand damage. He loves to play to the audience. He eggs other fighters on. He's a lot of fun to watch. He isn't the hardest hitter, nor is he the most agile, but he is very good at pushing fighters to make mistakes by frustrating them, getting under their skin. He has won 3 of his last 5 fights. Now, Shariar has won 3 of his last 5 as well. What's interesting about Shariar's last wins has been that his last 3 wins have been by knockout. He is a very hard hitting fighter, incredibly strategic in the ring. One of the things that I really love about watching Morgan fight is he is very, very good at identifying opponents' weaknesses and then exploiting them. Um, in one of his recent fights, he had landed a number of solid kicks to like the chest, liver area of his opponent, and noticed the damage that was doing and the pain his opponent was in, and really started to localize his attacks to that area, and eventually won because of his tenacity in taking out his opponent in the kind of like central chest, liver, back area. And so, what I like about him is he's got a hunter mentality as he fights his opponents, and that's not something you'll always see in fighters within UFC. A lot of times they'll just go in swinging, not be as strategic as to where they deal their damage and how. I think Sharier is a fighter who does act in that way. So, for me, this is an area where I'm going to go against the favorite within the DAP, but go with the favorite um, that Vegas is showing, right, with Charrier, and make my pick for Charrier. Now, there's another featherweight fight on the docket as well, right? This one is an interesting fight between Calvin Cotter, right, who is 23-9, a journeyman. You've seen him fighting for years out of the U.S. Steve Garcia, also a well experienced battler out of the United States as well. This is a fairly even fight. Garcia is slightly favored, but not significantly. And these two fighters share a lot of similarities. Both are 6 feet tall, 145 pounds, both in their mid 30s. Garcia has 75 inches to 72 inches in reach, but again, that's not a huge difference. Garcia also holds the advantage, significant strike percentage and takedown percentage. For me, this was a fairly easy fight to pick, even though the odds are fairly even. I love Calvin. I think he's been really engaging to watch over the course of his career so far. One of the challenges I find, though, is that he can be somewhat injury and pain prone. And his stamina can be questionable. Of course, I recognize I'm talking about like stamina like I've ever been in one of these fights, but as fights run on, Calvin really does slow down, right? He throws one hell of he throw he throws one hell of an elbow, right? He's a really, really good close combat battler. Accuracy on punches, not so good. I think that um, Calvin is really, really good at maximizing opening opportunities against opponents when they make mistakes. I will say, though, Garcia looks incredibly strong, right? His he's won his last 5 fights, and he's done so with really targeted body shots and some excellent maneuverability. Rotating around opponents when they've been locked up, really keeping opponents unsettled on their feet. What's also really interesting is Garcia's fights since 2021 uh, have not ended in anything other than a knockout. Now, he has delivered, 5 knockouts over the past few years. He's also been knocked out, of course. Um, but he can deliver, you know? So I would say that Calvin is not somebody who's easily knocked out. Steve is somebody who looks to deliver the knockout. Uh, but at the same time, both of these guys do show an ability to stick around. I do think that Garcia is going to show his true form with a solid win here and continue his strong showing over these last few years. I'm less certain about whether it's going to be via knockout or not, though I do like the potential here. So again, I'm going to also go kind of against the favorite within our DAP and go with Garcia for the win. In our welterweight battle, Stephen Thompson, 17-8-1 of the United States, taking on Gabe Bonfim, 17-1-0 of Brazil. Bonfim is heavily favored here, 425. It's tough for me to pick against Gabriel. He is a little smaller than Thompson in terms of reach and size. However, he's 15 years younger than Thompson is, and that's a significant difference. Um, Bonfim is a stronger takedown fighter as well. Thompson has not looked great over his last 5 fights. He's won one of five. Was a solid, an intense fight against Kevin Holland, right? And he looked good in that, but uh, it has not been a good string for him. Bonfim has won 4 of his last 5, most recently in February. He fights very, very well, isn't afraid to take risks. And one of the things that is fantastic about Gabriel is that he's a really strong takedown fighter. His guillotine is one of the best in the business, and when locked in, it's incredibly hard for fighters to resist. I am going to make my pick for Bonfim, going with the favorite here, but again against the favorites in the DAP. I think another submission is entirely possible in this case, right? So yeah, that is really what is happening and what's going on with that fight. Lastly, we've got our main event battle. This is a heavyweight battle. It's fun to see the heavyweight as a main event. These guys hit hard and they fall hard. We've got Derek Lewis in the United States, 28-12, a real UFC veteran, right? 40 fights under his belt, squaring off against Talison Teixeira of Brazil, who's 8-0, right? A definite difference in experience and skill and kind of where they are in their careers, right? Teixeira has a height advantage, 4 inches, age, right? He's 15 years younger than Derek Lewis, right? He also has reach advantage, 83 inches to 79 inches. So there's a lot in Talison's favor. Lewis has struggled to pull off long-term win cycles throughout his career. In his last 10 fights, he's won 5 and lost 5. And that has really summarized Derek Lewis's career in UFC and as a fighter. He hits hard. He can knock opponents down. He also is very streaky. And he hasn't built up a structure across his career that allows him to maximize on opponent weaknesses. As with most of the heavyweights, knockouts are Lewis's general form and function. He's a super strange cat, this guy, right? When he wins fights, the way he celebrates, you never know what to expect, right? I mean, he's been known to like take off his pants after wins, which is ridiculous and insane. Teixeira, he is undefeated as his record shows. So he's won 7 of his 8 fights via knockout, right? Which is incredible and also not surprising for heavyweight fighters, right? One of the things that is surprising, though, is despite him being as big as he is very mobile. He can move around. He can get around other fighters. He flattened Arthur Lopez, knocked out Justin Tafa in seconds. So this is going to be an interesting battle between a really solid UFC veteran, right, who has been in the program for years, and a much newer fighter who literally like has just on the kind of like pathway to what could be truly truly incredible performance as a heavyweight fighter. So I like Lewis. I see the potential for him to win, but I like Teixeira even more, and even more at this point in his career, to really continue to show his ability to shine. Right, a win against Lewis here really does raise eyebrows about Talison's performance and potential moving forward. I'm going to take Teixeira. He is favored at 270, right? So a decent favorite for sure. But I do think this is going to be a surprisingly long battle for heavyweights, and see things going a bit back and forth before Teixeira finally ends up winning out with either a late knockout or possibly going to decision. I know that's sometimes rare for these big fighters, but I do feel a lock in of Teixeira makes great sense here. And let me pull up the DAP and make my pick to lock in. Now, after you have made your picks, you'll see on the bottom a validate your predictions window that will open. I am going to click on that. I'm going to approve my picks. Right. I'm also going to put a parlay in. I'll probably do a $20 parlay on this one. I feel generally pretty good about my selections. And just to make sure my pick's locked in, I'm going to refresh the screen. And they should pop up showing that my picks are in. There we go. And that lets me know that I have made my selection and I'm good to go. So there you have it. That is like our DAP in a nutshell. Remember, to make your picks, no cost. You can go to dap.spredict.io at any time. We hope that you will make your picks. We hope you'll enjoy utilizing our DAP. We can't wait to see you for our next round of Spredict Live. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, and may your best picks win. See you soon.